Look out! Look out! Look out! Take care. You are being watched. We repeat, take care, for you are now alone with a killer. We warn you, don't let him see the fear in your eyes.
What makes a horror movie? There's one definitive marker to a scary movie: the display of fear, which in turn frightens its audience. One of the best ways to do this is to highlight a face in fear, specifically the eyes.
Boo!
The eye of horror works both ways. It may penetrate, but it is also penetrated. The eye of horror is far more often the eye on the defense than an eye on the offense. Carol J. Clover. Neuroimaging studies show that viewing a fearful face is enough to activate the amygdala, the part of us responsible for detecting threat, even without consciously realizing the presented person is afraid. Our amygdalas pay close attention to eyes, where they are looking, and if whatever they're looking at is something to be afraid of. This can be attributed to the mind's ability to detect an increase in the eye white area, the eye's way of portraying fear. Accurately reading the emotions of a character we, as an audience, identify with is essential in determining if we should also be afraid. Close-ups are a great way to do this. In Michelle Park's thesis, The Aesthetics and Psychology Behind Horror Films, she explained that close-ups on character faces can make the audience relate to the protagonist's terror and emotions. But in many horror films, filmmakers may capture an extreme close-up shot on a specific facial feature, especially eyes, to express emotions without words. Unlike medium close-up shots, usually covering characters' head and shoulders, extreme close-ups invade the character's intimate space. The extreme close-up shot fills the whole screen, which emphasizes the dramatic importance of the scene by intensifying the emotion the character is feeling and allows us to feel sympathy. In the dinner table scene in Texas Chainsaw, the film cuts to sudden and extreme close-ups of final girl Sally's face and eyes to capture her psychological turmoil. With her arms tied down, she can't look away, and neither can we. By cutting repeatedly from Sally's perspective to her eyes, viewers can identify with her wide-eyed fear. The author of A Horrifying Sight, Capturing Perspective in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, wrote that the shots of her eyes are actually mirror images of viewers' eyes. Viewers are Sally, both when the shots are from her point of view and also when viewers are eye to eye with Sally, as though they are looking in a twisted funhouse mirror. Besides identifying fear, there are other reasons we keep our eyes peeled for eyes in horror. They can offer information on if a character is possessed, dead, or even zombified. So not only do eyes assist in eliciting fear, but they can often help the narrative move the story along. Jordan Peele's Academy Award-winning Get Out uses the subject's eye and the idea of sight and appearance as a theme throughout the movie. The sunken place will go on to be classic horror iconography because of the artful and gripping direction of cinematography.
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
The tiny rectangle of vision that drifts farther and farther away from Chris's consciousness is horrifying. In Jean-Louis Baudry's 1970 Ideological Effects of the Basic Cinematographic Apparatus, he discusses the camera's function as an eye, like the use of specific lenses while filming to mimic the way one might actually see. The Atlantic's in Get Out, The Eyes Have It details each instance the sense of sight is used to amplify its racial horror. Not only is the black physique envied amongst the white people in this movie, but specifically Chris's artistic eye for photography.
Why us? Huh? Why black people?
knows? People want to change. Some people want to be stronger, faster, cooler.
Black is in fashion.
But please don't lump me in with that. You know, I could give a shit what color you are. No. What I want is deeper. I want your eye, man. I want those things you see through.
In many ways, Chris's camera is a mechanical extension of his own eyes. Using a camera as a motif for sight in horror through a photographer is also illustrated in Peeping Tom. This classic is about a man who lures and kills women while taking their photographs. Their deaths obscured from the framing the lens of the camera affords the audience in the close-up of the women. Only at the end of the movie is it revealed that the women were killed by a sharp apparatus attached to the camera, including a mirror so that they can watch the terror in their eyes as they are murdered.
Do you know what the most frightening thing in the world is? It's fear. So I did something very simple. Very simple.
This psychosexual theory of cinematic spectatorship is further outlined in Laura Mulvey's Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema. The camera's look is disavowed in order to create a convincing world in which the spectator's surrogate can perform with verisimilitude. Simultaneously, the look of the audience is denied an intrinsic force. As soon as fetishistic representation of the female image threatens to break the spell of illusion, an erotic image on the screen appears directly, without mediation to the spectator. The fact of fetishization, concealing as it does castration fear, freezes the look, fixates the spectator, and prevents him from achieving any distance from the image in front of him. And that's the goal of the horror movie, to fully submerge an audience in the world of the film, identifying with the horror and fear on screen as if reality.
He shoots the final fearful scene.